It's a fantastic time to be a gamer. You know, there's video game console launches, graphics card launches. I feel like I'm on Oprah. Everyone gets something. But that causes you to think to yourself in the shower, what do I really want? An Xbox Series X, a PlayStation 5, a gaming PC? I just don't know. And you know, they're all fantastic machines that could meet anyone's gaming needs. But most people are on a budget, right? Strapped for cash? Or maybe they want to know how much something will cost over time. Well, that's pretty much what I want to try and help you with today. Breaking down how much it would cost to own an Xbox Series X, a PlayStation 5, or a gaming PC over the course of your average console lifespan. 7 whole years. So, what's the cheapest and most expensive to own? Let's find out with a little analysis. Before we start, I want to state some disclaimers. Number one, I've owned an Xbox, PlayStation, and a PC at some point in my life and love each and every single one of them for different reasons. This isn't about pointing fingers or bragging rights or to start any console or PC wars. So keep that out of the comments. I'm just here trying to help people make a good financial choice for themselves or try to provide enough information for them to come to their own conclusions. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to just find the best way to play games for ourselves. Also, since not all the information is out yet, there's going to be some numbers that are just off, like some PC components that just aren't out yet. Also, this video won't have all the fun edits I normally do or the super lame jokes, just because I feel this one is meant to be more informative rather than entertaining. But I think I'll still sneak a dumb joke in here somewhere. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Let's start off by setting some rules, or else, you know, every point's going to end up in it depends. Just know that we're going to have to assume a few things because there's not a 100% right answer, and over time prices do fluctuate for games, consoles, and PCs. What I list as a price now won't be the same price in half a year or even 3. Another assumption we're making is that you want a Xbox Series X, a PS5 with disk drive, or a similarly spec'd as possible PC, because we want the experience to be as similar to each other as possible. And sadly, there's still more guessing we have to kind of put into this. You'll probably need to upgrade your storage a few years down. Games take up a lot of space on both consoles and PC, so eventually you'll have to add more. And one of the final assumptions we'll make is that you want online play. So for PS5 and Xbox, you'll have to pay for online. So those were most of our assumptions, but now we have to set some boundaries. Since these are all unique and different in their own way, here are some great benefits for each that they all uniquely have and the others don't. If you only care for any of those features specifically and you can't live without them, you might as well throw our cost breakdown out the way because you already found what fits you best, and that should be the system of your choice. After all, what matters most in all this is, number one, it's in your budget, and number two, it's the device you enjoy using. Now, if you're still here and these exclusive features aren't necessary for you, then throw all that we just said out the window. We don't need that because we can't replicate those across all the systems, and we can't easily guess the value of those features because for each person, they weigh them a little bit differently. So for our calculations, we'll only focus on things that you can control, like buying games the old way. I know, that sucks. But no matter how good Xbox Game Pass is, there will probably be some games you would want to purchase that aren't on it. So let's do a price breakdown. The Xbox Series X and PS5 each cost $500, which is a lot to pay for a mini fridge or a tower fan. On the other hand, a comparable PC would cost you over $1,000. The components you see for the PC aren't an exact match for the Xbox and PS5. I even had to make up a fake estimated price for an unreleased graphics card because this will be the most similar to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Wow, okay. PC gaming, it looks expensive, right? It only looks this way initially. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let's move on to other parts of console or PC ownership that costs money. Games. Games for this new generation of video game consoles are going to cost up to $70. That's right, some games now cost an extra $10. But if you look at the exact same game but on PC, they're still the normal $60. But we all know most people don't buy video games at full price. Everyone waits for a sale. So let's adjust for that. I normally see steeper sales for PC games, and with console games having less price cuts. We're going to assume new game purchases here, not some random game you found in the back bin at your local GameStop, and no game trading between friends, or else that would throw our numbers way off. So this is just a guess, but I'd say the average PC gamer probably spends around $35 on each game, and with the price hike on console games, about $45 per console game. Okay, so this part is based on my personal experience, but I purchase about 4 games a year, and the average video game console generation lasts 7 years. So let's assume you purchase 4 games each of those years for a total of 28 games across those 7 years. For PC, that's a total of $980 on games, and for the Xbox and PlayStation 5, around $1,260. Don't forget that we should also account for an extra controller or keyboard and mice when things eventually break within those 7 years. This is a $60 cost for Xbox, a $70 cost for PS5, and a good replacement mouse and keyboard will run you around $80. We're still receiving new PS5 news and Xbox news and PC component news. So I created this super cool spreadsheet that I probably spent around an hour or 2 total on to help you see how much it costs over the course of 7 years to own any of these machines. And, well, based on the numbers I threw at you earlier, it might surprise you. So this workbook has 3 different gamer type profiles. Let's focus on the typical gamer profile first. This is what I expect the average gamer to spend if they purchased any of these systems and owned them for 7 years, starting like right now. As you'll notice, regardless of system, you're bound to pay around the same amount, $2,300 to $2,400. You'll notice the main factor here is the cost of games and the cost of online gameplay memberships. The additional storage cost is pretty much that external Xbox storage unit for the Xbox and an NVMe drive that is supported by the PS5, and well, you can technically also use it for the PC, so that's the same cost as well, in case you were wondering, of course. And these systems will need them, especially if you're buying this many games. But let's face it, not everyone fits in this typical gamer bucket. There's also 2 more buckets that we have. And now let's take a look at the big gamers. Sorry about that. That was for personal reference. Very quickly, you can see how this profile differs from the last profile, other than just the Mountain Dew and the Doritos, and that's in the storage space and the number of games bought. This time we have another external 1TB SSD for the console and an internal SSD for the PC. I also adjusted the price of the games to be a little less because I feel this bucket of gamers are more likely to impulse buy during sales. I'm also not speaking from personal experience, of course. And now the PC is the least expensive. So we see here that if you're a pro gamer or like to play a ton of video games, even more than the average gamer, you'll end up paying less with a PC. And this difference grows the more and more games you buy. So PCs are the least expensive when you buy the most games. What about the opposite? A casual gamer? Well, let's take a look. This is the type of person I viewed would buy the console 3 or 4 years after its release and buy the console when there's a sale. This is also the type of person I think would only occasionally need online play and buys online play and extra controllers when they're on sale. They're frugal. They also wait for games to be on a great sale before buying. Only buys the games they really care about and would rather delete no longer played games off their system than go buy additional storage, because it's actually pretty expensive at $230 for an additional 1TB. From this, you can see the PS5 and Xbox Series X would cost 25% less than the equivalent PC. That's significant. So what's the conclusion from all this information I just shared with you? Basically, the upfront cost of a PC is significantly more regardless of what type of gamer you are. However, the more games you start to buy, the less and less expensive PC gaming gets due to the lower prices of games themselves and, well, no cost for online play. You're not paying yearly for that. That's not saying you go buy a million games to brag that you saved a few bucks extra off each. But for more casual gamers, owning an Xbox or PS5 will probably save you some money. But that higher cost for games and online play memberships add up the more into gaming you get. Is there a perfect video game machine, whether that be consoles or PCs? No. But I at least hope this helped you figure out the best one for you and helps you make the best purchasing decision for yourself. There is no best system. There's only what works best for you within your own budget. Because Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's a fantastic time to be into video games, and depending on your needs, one of these is probably already a great option for you. So let me know what you think. Did this give you some clarity on how pricey gaming gets over time, or were my numbers way off? I felt like I got pretty close, but I could be wrong. Did this change your mind on what you'll be buying, or did it only further solidify it? Leave all that down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and well, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.